First off, I would say I'm a entomologist because I just really love insects. That's like, at the end of the day, that's what I do, is like I want to look at anything insect related. I don't know if I can't remember his name now, but that really cool guy with the frogs, he said at the end of the day he was like a little boy who just was interested in frogs, and that resonated so much with me. I'm just a little girl interested in insects at the end of the day. So they're sort of weird looking. They're not like what you probably picture when you picture like experiment. You probably think like, well, there are centrifuge tubes involved, but they're not, you know, it's not someone pipetting them with like rubber gloves. I shove little insects into tubes and like glue them into them, and then I use like different like micro manipulators and things to get videos of like insects interacting with stuff so that I can then analyze like the behavior of their antennae. So this is like the insect, it's a little cricket, that's his head right there in a tube. This is its antenna, this little thing sticking out. And basically what we do is we use the micro manipulator to move the insect up until its antenna deflects past this little capillary tube here, this little glass capillary. And it's actually really cool because of how like bendy it is. Look at that, that's pretty awesome. You can't really do that with things that like hold themselves rigid without deforming them, but you can see like seconds later it's completely like straight again. It's exactly where it used to be. Basically what I do is I just digitize like points of where it is. So the base here compared to the tip, just to see like what the shape of it is as it's moving through. And you can see like it's moving pretty fast. That's why there's these blurs. And then bam, it's where it is. It's where, and then I just take like the behavior of it as it's moving to see if it's like oscillating, which means like, is it springing around or is it basically going straight back to where it was? And if it's not oscillating, it means that it's being damped, which basically just means it's having energy removed from its system, like the system of the antenna, by the properties of the antenna itself. I would say in general with biomechanics, it can be kind of hard because there aren't always like methods for things. So you sort of have to figure out as you're going along, like, oh great, like this thing didn't work and now I'm gonna have to like take a bunch more data and things like that. Like specifically for mine, we sort of realized that we wanted a lot more like digitized points, which is just like we're seeing how the antenna is moving through time. Like we wanted way more than we had because we thought we would have enough, and then, you know, a year later we find out like, dang, we wish we had like 10 more frames, but that's just sort of how it goes. In like the grander scheme of things, like you never really know how much you're actually like contributing to society, so that I try not to focus on that because I think like, you know, people don't say that to artists and things, like, what are you actually contributing to society? Or maybe they do and they just ignore it, but so I find it rewarding just like learning a new thing, like going in and saying like, is this gonna happen the way I think it is? And then if it does happen, I'm like, wow, awesome. And if it doesn't, I'm like, oh, I was wrong. That's cool. Like it does this other weird thing. So the applications that I hope for my research is like biomimetic design, which is basically taking the properties that we learn about from the insect, or it could be any organism for the overall umbrella term, but for mine it's insects, and taking those properties and applying them to like robotics or like just technological sensors, because I work with sensory systems, so it could be anything from like, I don't know, like temperature probe to like a antenna for a little robot.